Welcome to my Week 7 battle of the PDL. This week, the Chicago Grookies are taking on Fodo, coach of the Kyoto Koraidons. Last week, we finally ended our losing streak when we beat C Prime 2-0. That was a great battle. If you didn't check that out, I highly recommend that. And I actually want to give a shout out to C Prime because he helped me a ton with my prep as well as froze. We are currently placed 7th overall. There's still about 3 battles after this one. Top 8 make playoffs, so I'm still in the running and I have a good chance of making it. But I still want my differential and my record to be better because I know that I'm better than a current 3-3 record. But let's take a look at my opponent's team. They have Mega Gallade, Haxorus, Klefki, Tyranitar, Rotom-Mow, Superior, Reuniclus, Talonflame, Tentacruel, and Gligar. This team is very scary for me. Klefki can spread hazards around and status like crazy since I don't have really good removal. I mean, I have Empoleon, I have Cloyster, but they still struggle with spikes. And then my team doesn't really appreciate status either. That Superior is a threat, especially if it's Choice Scarf. And I also have to watch out for things like Toxic Spikes because I'm not bringing Dragalge this week. And then one other thing, I am very scared of Trick Room Reuniclus because I have no ways of countering that just in like general like speed of my team. It's the slowest thing on the field. The only thing I can do is like taunt to stop Trick Room from coming up, but it's a really big threat. So first up we have Celebi. This is going to be kind of a pivot this week as well as my Stealth Rock setter. I want to have rocks up on their side to pressure things like the Talonflame and then just general switches. U-turn is for me to switch out and get some momentum, and then I have Psychic so I can hit the Tentacruel as hard as possible. I don't really want to stay on the Klefki, and I definitely don't even want the Tyranitar to come in on me to Pursuit Trap me, so that's why I'm not too worried about hitting those Pokemon. And then Recover is just to gain some health back. This is really here to help with the Rotom-Mow and the Superior, as well as a little bit with the Reuniclus. It can use Shadow Ball, but it can at least take one of those, and then U-turn out. We have enough special attack to be able to 2-hit KO, especially defensive Tentacruel with Psychic. Next up, we have Gliscor with Taunt. This is to stop the Klefki, as well as just to stop like Gligar from maybe going for Roosts, or Haxorus if it's like Adamant from Dragon Dancing, as well as Tyranitar from Dragon Dancing. Just a lot of different things that this is really good for. Earthquake does a ton of damage, U-turn for momentum, and then knock off to remove items. We're bringing the Choice Scarf Chandelure. It looks really good this week. Rocking Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Fighting, and Trick. There is no resist or immunity to Shadow Ball outside of Tyranitar. With its own sand, it does have really good SpDef, but Hidden Power Fighting will still do a decent chunk, especially because we are modest. I have Trick to trick my Choice Scarf onto Reuniclus if that thing becomes a problem with Calm Mind, and we have enough speed to outspeed Max Speed Talonflame. I've been wanting to bring this Mega Lopunny set since week 1. We're rocking Fake Out, Return, Focus Punch, and Substitute. I originally had Ice Punch on here, but I have plenty of ways of dealing with that Gligar, so I'm not really that worried about it. Fake Out just puts on more pressure because that was what I was going to put Ice Punch over. And this will also block things like Thunder Wave from the Klefki, which is also really good. I have Fizdev, Calm Mind, Clefable. I've brought this set a few times before. It's really good. It sets up on the Klefki, it sets up on Rotom, it can set up on Reuniclus as well, and just it can eat a hit or two from the Mega Gallade and the Haxorus as well, and hit them back extremely hard with Moonblast. And our last Pokemon is the most important. We have Empoleon here with the Chople Berry to take a fighting move because there's just so much fighting coverage across this team. Running max special defense so we can take a couple hits from the Superior. Rocking Scald, Knock Off Toxic, and Defog. Don't want hazards on the field. Toxic Spikes were a huge problem, as well as just normal spikes from the Klefki. Toxics just whittle some things down. Scald can get burns as well and do some residual damage, and then Knock Off just to remove items. But yeah, that is the team. If you enjoy, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the battle. Alright, so my opponent brings Mega Gallade, Klefki, Tyranitar, Reuniclus, Rotom-Mow, and Talonflame. Gonna be honest, I really didn't expect the Talonflame to come, but now that I see that, I really want to lead and get my rocks up right away, but Celebi doesn't want to lead in case Tyranitar comes out here, so I really have to think about who is going to be the best option here. I want to lead Gliscor here. The only issue would be Gallade is faster and it could knock off, so I'd have to be cautious of that. Everything else, though, is actually a pretty good lead against, unless it's like Will-O-Wisp on Talonflame or Rotom, which is something else I have to be cautious of. Ooh, I don't know who to lead here. This is not easy. Okay, I'm going to go Empoleon. Empoleon actually does look like the best option here, so we're gonna go with that here. And we see a Talonflame lead. Okay, the only lead I didn't want to see there was Gallade, so that's perfect. We do threaten this immediately with a Scald, and the Rotom might want to come into that, so I can just kind of knock off here and remove an item off the bat, which I think is value at this point in the battle, just because if Rotom comes in on Scald, it's not going to do much, and I'd rather get a Toxic off than a burn on the Rotom. So I'm going to go for knock off here and remove an item as the Talonflame U-turns out. Alright, and they go out into Glade on my knockoff here. I wonder if they're going to get... They are justified. Alright, that is not good for me here. I am Choppleberry, but close combat would still KO me here, and I need to think, like, I could go Chandelure here, but that's kind of risky as well. How much does Clefable take from a close combat here? It actually eats it up pretty well into Poison Jab, so Clefable is my play here 100%. And they just go for an Earthquake, so we do take this into Poison Jab as well. Ooh, actually, they're at +1, so we might not. That's, So I can go Chandelure here on a Poison Jab, which eats it pretty well, and then I threaten with Shadow Ball on this thing, which would then allow Mega Tyranitar, or not Mega Tyranitar, but normal Tyranitar to come in. I'm just trying to think the best way to play this out. I think I can go Chandelure on this, and then double into Mega Lopunny on the Tyranitar, possibly, because Tyranitar is the only Shadow Ball switch-in they have on their team. It's that, or I can risk that they don't have Poison Jab, but I feel like it's just, they have to have it. Otherwise, this Clefable walls them way too well. Alright, I'm gonna go Chandelure here on a Poison Jab or an Iron Head. Let's see. They go for the Poison Jab. No poison, please? Awesome. So now we have Chandelure in here. If I go for Hidden Power Fighting here on the Tyranitar, I can 2-hit KO it possibly, and I think that might be better than actually going for a Shadow Ball here. The only problem is, if they are Assault Vest, then, or actually Max Spadef, I don't 2-hit KO them, and then they Pursuit Trap me pretty easily here, so I don't know if it's worth it. It's hard when I don't know, like, anything about that Tyranitar set yet, and this Glade is such a threat, like, I kind of want to Shadow Ball it, but then, like, I'm in the same situation where I'm going to get Pursuit Trapped. Mega Lopunny cannot Revenge Kill this, so I might be better for me to Shadow Ball, but I feel like Tyranitar is such an obvious switch in here, man. I think I'm going to Hidden Power Fighting on the Tyranitar switch in here. Okay, it worked. Let's see what kind of set they are. Do we 2-hit KO them here? No, they are Assault Vest as hell. Holy crap. So we're probably going to get Pursuit Trapped here, if I had to imagine. Now, how much would a Pursuit do if I don't switch out? Like, can I take that hit? Okay, so it doesn't look like he's AV, and if I don't switch, Pursuit does not knock me out here. It has a chance to with Sand, but I don't know if I want to, like, risk losing Chandelure by switching out here. Yeah, there's no reason to, like, try to switch out here and do no damage, so I'm just going to Hidden Power on this. We do another 38, and they Earthquake, so we could have switched out, but it wasn't worth potentially losing my Chandelure there, even though it's Choice Scarf. Alright, I'm going to go Gliscor now because it outspeeds. I can knock this out, and then I get my Toxic Orb activated as well, so Gliscor and Earthquake is super free here. We're just going to click that. If they go Rotom or Talonflame, I'm not, like, super concerned about those. I can U-turn out on the Rotom, and then I can knock off this Talonflame. It won't do too much damage to me here, and then it can't burn me since I am Poison Heal. And we see that it's leftovers as well. I'm going to knock off, remove its item here, and they U-turn out. Luckily, I can't give that Glade a Justified boost anymore. I can't believe I totally overlooked that. Alright, they go Rotom Mow here as we knock off, and what do we remove? Leftovers. Alright, now how much does a Hidden Power Ice do to me? He said in chat that he wasn't aware that Hidden Power was allowed, but I don't really want to risk, like, that, so he would probably Leaf Storm here otherwise, which does a lot to Gliscor, so I'm going to go Celebi here. They won't Volt Switch. Oh, they go for Hex. That's actually some pretty good tech for Gliscor. I'm glad I switched out there. That's something I did not think about. I'm just going to go for Stealth Rocks here and try to get my hazards up so I can put some pressure on that Talonflame and the Tyranitar as well. So we're going to just go for Stealth Rocks here as they Volt Switch out, and we'll see what they go into. Alright, my opponent goes Talonflame as we get our Stealth Rocks up here. And this is just another free switch-in for me to go Empoleon here. They could U-turn out, but Scald does put a little bit of pressure on their team at this point. So I'm going to go Empoleon here on this. We might just see, yeah, we just see a U-turn come out here. So we'll probably see Glade hit the field if I had to guess. That thing is a pretty big threat to my team at the moment, especially with Clefable being weakened. I assume he has Ice Punch and Fighting Move is my guess on that set there. Luckily, now that he's not +1, I can take a close combat with Empoleon, and I'll threaten him with a Scald. Yep, and they go out into that Mega Glade here. And as I said, this is a huge threat for me. I have the Choppleberry here for a reason, so I'm just going to go for the Scald on this Glade here, and hopefully we can get a burn on it. We take the close combat here, barely, but we take it, and this Scald is going to do a lot of damage. Oh, it just KOs. Okay. All right, Empoleon, that is a huge W. Rotom comes out. I don't necessarily want this Empoleon to go down. I kind of want to keep it as a sack, but I don't have like a free switch in here on that. Gliscor doesn't want to take a Hex. I don't want to really bring Celebi in on one either, even though it probably goes for like a Volt Switch or a Leaf Storm here. I can also recover up against that on a Hex, I believe. Yeah, I'm actually going to go Celebi here. It takes the hit here. They go for Hex, and they get a crit, so we don't take it now. Ooh, that's not good. So it has a 25% chance to kill here, and honestly, I think I have to risk it. It's that, or I can go Mega Lopunny on a Hex here, which is also a risky play here. But I think I kind of have to make a risky play. I'm not in the best position here. My team is getting kind of weakened, and getting Mega Lopunny in would be really big, so I'm going to make that play on a Hex here. Ooh, okay. Never punished. Oh my goodness. That makes up for the crit, because it's Mega Lopunny. I don't think it would have necessarily died to that. It just depends on its EV spread here. I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for a substitute. If they decide to Volt Switch out here, that's fine, but I think that they might want to keep this alive for Gliscor. Actually, I Speed Tie with this thing pre-Mega Evolution, so I have to Fake Out this turn. That was something I did not realize until just now, so we have to Fake Out, and that's actually the better decision because they decided to stay in. All right, and I'm just going to go for the return here and knock out this Rotom. They could go Klefki here, but I have the free switch into Gliscor at any time. And I just have to hope that they're not like Flame Body on Talonflame, which would be kind of weird. I think Gale Wings is just like 1,000,000% always your play here. But as well, their Stealth Rock's up, so this thing is just so threatened at this point. It takes half health upon switch in, so. And we just take out the Rotom with return. Awesome. Getting into a bit of a better situation here, but I'm still very nervous about that Reuniclus there. Klefki comes out, and I'm just going to go hard out into Gliscor here and taunt this immediately. They start setting up their screens. I will be able to get rid of those with Empoleon. The only downside to that is that I would get rid of my my own Stealth Rocks on that side. I'm going to knock off first, just so that future screens, they don't get the 8 turns, they just get the 5, even though, like, for this moment, this is kind of obnoxious. And now I'm going to taunt on maybe, like, a switch out into Reuniclus, T-Tar, or any of the other Pokemon. Don't want to really take a taunt, so we're going to go for that here. And we see Tyranitar come out, and we'll be able to take this out here with an Earthquake. They probably were trying to sack this. I also could U-turn here, because I don't know if having Gliscor out here is the best for like Reuniclus or Talonflame. I'm going to U-turn here, and then Clefable looks like a really good switch-in on the last 3 Pokemon. If the Klefki comes out, we can just double back out into Gliscor. So I'm going to U-turn here, knocking out this Tyranitar, and then we're going to go out into Clefable here. We won't take any damage, and we're actually just going to get a little bit of health back with our leftovers. Reuniclus immediately comes out. I want to start Calm Minding alongside this thing, but I do think that my better option is going Gliscor, taunting, and only allowing them 1 Calm Mind boost. Because if they have Psyshock, they're just going to blow me away after a few boosts. So we're going to go Gliscor here and immediately just stop this thing from setting up. They go for Iron Defense, so that's actually better because my special attackers can still kind of break through this, especially Clefable. Possibly. We'll see. I also have Toxic on Empoleon, but it looks like they are Magic Guard. Gliscor might be able to beat them 1v1 if they are not able to get a Calm Mind up here. We're just going to knock off this turn, remove their item. Oh, that does like nothing. Oh, goodness. And that does a ton of damage. That's not good. Okay, I'm going to U-turn out and sack Empoleon here. It no longer has any use for me, and I'm really just trying to wear out the screens at this point. So I'm going to U-turn here, go Empoleon, let it go down. Toxic doesn't matter because I wouldn't touch this thing with it since it's Magic Guard. All right, and now the taunt has ended, so I need to go back into Gliscor and taunt this again because otherwise it's going to just continue to set up. So we're going to go that here. We still take another Psychic, luckily, so I'll take a hit, and then I can U-turn out to potentially be able to taunt this thing one more time in the future here. Because this thing is just such a threat to my team right now. It's insane. So I think I U-turn here, and then I sack Celebi and go Clefable. I think that's my only option. The one saving grace I have is that they are Psychic and not Psyshock, so if I want to, I can boost up alongside them with Clefable. And I'll actually get an advantage on them if I'm able to get one more taunt off on this. So I'm going to U-turn here and sack Celebi. We do 20% there. That's actually kind of some nice damage. All right, Celebi comes out, and it takes the Psychic, actually. Took it better than I thought it would. Taunt is going to end this turn. It has to click an attacking move. I kind of want to recover on that, and then U-turn out on its Calm Mind to Gliscor and get a taunt off here. I think that might be my best bet. This is so hard to play around here. I knew this was going to be a problem since I don't have a dark type on my team. Okay, now that I'm looking at this like fully, I don't think Mega Lopunny really is that good here. So I'm going to recover here on their attack, and then I'm going to U-turn as they maybe like Calm Mind or something, and then go Lopunny. I think the only problem with that is if they have recover, which I almost certain they do. If I U-turn out here, I do about 15%. I can go Lopunny, fake out for another 10, and then return does 24 or 28 to 34 depending. Okay, I think what I have to do here is I need to U-turn this turn with Celebi. Oh my god, we get a crit. That could not have been better because now I sack Gliscor, I go Lopunny, and I knock this out. I can also go Lopunny, sack it, and go Gliscor and knock this out, because I don't know if Lopunny is actually going to be useful here in the late game with these last couple alive. That crit was just so important. I probably would have lost if I didn't get that crit. So yeah, I'm going to sack Mega Lopunny here. It's not going to be doing me any more use in this battle here, and now I can go out into Gliscor and I can knock out this Reuniclus with any of my attacking moves here. All right, so we bring out Gliscor here, and then I'm just going to U-turn on the off chance that they switch out into like Talonflame or Klefki. I don't want to Earthquake on those, so we're just going to U-turn, and we knock out this Reuniclus. That is very good. I was in a really crappy situation there, and I think going Clefable here, getting that extra turn of leftovers recovery will be best. I should be able to take an attacking move from this Talonflame, so we're going to go out into Clefable here, get a little bit of health back, and we'll see what they want to do. They immediately go Klefki here, and I am just going to Calm Mind up on this. And they set up their screens. I don't think that's going to matter. We'll see. It might come down to like a crit, Talonflame critting me. We'll see, though. I'm just going to continue to Calm Mind up here. They Thunder Wave. I'm not worried. That could get annoying, but for the speed, it's not a matter at all. This Klefki lost its Light Clay as well, so it only gets this for 5 turns here. How much do I do to the Talonflame upon switching? I don't do a lot yet, so I'm going to continue to Calm Mind up here. It's going to take 50%, and it's probably going to be just forced to Roost here once, I'd imagine. I'm going to Moonblast here on the Roost. That light screen only has 2 turns left. Oh, and they just Brave Bird, so maybe they don't have Roost. We get paralyzed, which is kind of unfortunate, but not a big deal. I'm going to Soft Boiled here. They're not doing like the most damage in the world either. So I think I might have this here. Moonblast will KO here, so we're gonna go for that, especially after Brave Bird recoil. All right, Clefable knocks out the Talonflame, and then we knock out the Klefki with Flamethrower. Holy crap. I don't know if I would have won that if I didn't crit with Celebi on that U-turn. That was such a like important crit for this battle. That is insane to me. But wow, my heart is still beaten a little bit from that. I was quite nervous there, and it's not over yet. This Klefki's being a little obnoxious versus my my Clefable here, but Jesus, how many Spit F drops are you gonna get? Please stop. Please stop. It's not doing that much damage though, so there's one Flamethrower. Just gotta get one more, and we're done here. All right. GG's to my opponent. You really had me there. I was super nervous. Not having a dark type on my team definitely shows there. Maybe dropping Sneasel wasn't the best idea, but it's too late for that now. But yeah, if you enjoyed this battle, please drop a like, subscribe. We're going to be making our way to playoffs here within the next couple weeks, so stay tuned. And yeah, peace.